This just in, Ohio State, Penn State had a lot going into it, but it is Ohio State who gets the victory. There you see the handshake between James Franklin and Ryan Day as the Buckeyes get the W done tonight. Let's take a look at that box score. Wasn't a very high-scoring game, but the Buckeyes found a way down the stretch to get it done. 20-12, your final. So the Nittany Lions picking up their first loss. Meanwhile, Ohio State moving to 7-0. This is now the fourth 7-0 start for the Buckeyes under head coach Ryan Day, and this was a big one for his boys. We welcome you into our studios. Haley Sutton, Barrett Sallee here in our South Florida studio. We also have our team at 24/7 Sports of Emily Proud, Carl Reed, and Smoke Dixon. Let's talk about this game. Barrett, I'll start with you first. Obviously, an impressive victory for Ohio State, but it kind of felt like that was the way it was going to trend anyways, especially with them missing some key players. They were able to get it done this afternoon.
Yeah, and I think for Ohio State, it's all about defense, right? Defense has, I wouldn't say been a problem, but it's been a little shaky at times under Ryan Day, and today it was all about the defense. Drew Aller had no idea what he was doing with the football. He was awful. You look at his stats, 18 of 42. That's not good, last time I checked. And then on third downs, Ohio State's defense shut down Penn State when it mattered most. Penn State 1 of 16 on third downs. We always talk about playing situational footballs, winning those key situations. Ohio State won them, and Penn State lost them consistently all afternoon.
Yeah, Barrett laid it out perfectly, guys. A great day for Ohio State's defense, but conversely, on Penn State side of the ball, I mean, Smoke, I'll start with you. How big of a concern is this Nittany Lions offense as they forge ahead for this season?
Well, it's a major concern. 2023 is college football. Everybody's throwing the ball all over the place, and you haven't figured a way how to complete a 10-yard out. I mean, look like, Carl, I apologize, a 2023 version of the wing T offense with a guy that can't throw the ball vertically down the field. James Franklin is supposed to be an offensive guru, and you're only putting up 12 points in a major game that you're trying to win and get into the conversation of the national championship.
Well, first off, Emily, that's not what the winning team looks like. The winning team is a dynamic offense that you can score a lot of points in, so don't disrespect the winning team. But Penn State has to find a way to get guys the ball. Playmakers, they're very bad offensively. Quarterback play was really poor today. And if they're going to ever compete with teams like Ohio State and Michigan, they're going to need more productivity on the offensive side of the football.
Those are the teams that they want to compete with. Let's talk positively, though. Carl, who is the star of this game in your eyes?
Marvin Harrison. I mean, man. Mama, there goes that man. You know what I mean? Every time you look up, he just makes a complete difference in the game. Ohio State wins the game today because they have Marvin Harrison and Penn State doesn't. Smoke.
Star of the game is Ryan Day. Came out in the second half and found ways to get his best player the ball more often than the other team did. So at the end of the day, Marvin Harrison Jr. and Ryan Day came out and beat James Franklin and the rest of y'all on offense.
You mentioned their inability to be able to compete with the likes of Ohio State and Michigan, but that's always who they're going to be compared against. I know that divisions are eventually going away in the Big Ten, but as of this moment, I mean, what does this game say about where Penn State stands in the college football landscape as a whole?
It says you're the third best team in the Big Ten. You have a really good program, but you're not elite yet. You have to be able to compete with Michigan and Ohio State and the newcomers that are coming to your league. Oregon's coming into that league. Washington is coming into that league. USC and UCLA are coming into that league. So it's not going to get any easier. You have to take the next step if you're going to be elite. But also, there's nothing wrong with just being a good football program.
Good football program, but like you said, what Penn State has done in the last few years is win in recruiting. Are they going to continuously win in recruiting against Oregon? Against USC? I don't think so. So I think instead of being the third best team, you're going to go back into the conversation of the middle of the pack if you keep performing like this on the national stage.
It's certainly going to be interesting for Penn State going forward. We just had their schedule posted up there, Barrett. Not the easiest of schedule. Of course, they still got Michigan to compete with in a couple of weeks as well. Ohio State still has Michigan, too, as we take a look at those remaining schedules. But just not going to be smooth sailing for the Nittany Lions going forward.
No, it's not. And I think you have the Michigan game, obviously, at Maryland. A little tricky. Rutgers, bowl-eligible Rutgers. And then, yeah, so, I mean, it's, look, Penn State, I think the concerning thing, and the guys up in Nashville sort of mentioned it, this game was played the way that James Franklin wants to play with this particular Penn State team, and it didn't really feel like they ever had a chance. And I think that's the most concerning part. Is like, you play to your identity. Like, this was how you were supposed to win this game, and it didn't happen. And I think the quarterback play from Drew Aller, look, I mean, I thought he could be able, could stretch the field. I said going in, hey, look, you know, they did a disservice to him by not letting him stretch the field in blowout games before this one kicked off. Maybe we know why now. Maybe we know why, because he's not able to do it. So I think that's, if you're a Penn State fan, that's the concern. But if you're an Ohio State fan, to go in and win a game like that, a big game, granted you're at home, but win a game with all of the injury concerns and everything else that went along with this, and to win it kind of ugly and to win it with defense, I think that's a perfect scenario, because you know your offense is going to be fine. We saw Marvin Harrison. I want to give a shout out to maybe an unsung hero, Mayan Williams, 24 carries, 62 yards. That he did enough as a running back to take the pressure off of Kyle McCord and Marvin Harrison Jr., and I think that shouldn't go unnoticed. He did a great job today.
And we're going to be talking about this game all week long. So many things to take away from it on both sides of the ball, but this is going to be our final thoughts for the reaction. Carl, what do you have for us?
My final thoughts of the day is, in college football, we still don't have a clear-cut favorite for the national champion. So we're going to have great football down the stretch the rest of October and going into November. This has really been an exciting football season so far to this point.
Well, Carl, I'm going to jump out there like I usually do and just jump straight in the water. Ohio State's the best team in the nation, period. Just understand this. Just understand this. Their best running back didn't play today, and they just beat up on the number 7 team nationally. Their second best receiver didn't play, and they still won. They went out there and was 1 against 11 and won this game, and their quarterback was just okay, and their running back ran for 44 yards. Just understand, what you're looking at right there is a dominant defense, and they can do whatever they want to do on offense.
We'll see what happens when they run into J.J. McCarthy and the Michigan Wolverines before we can say that they're the best team in the country.
You're already down 1-0 against me.
Dealing with here in Nashville. These two.
Oh, man, I don't know how I'm going to follow up with that, so I'm not. I'm going to say thank you both for all that great insight. We thank Barrett for bringing us in here in our South Florida studios. So Ohio State gets it done against Penn State. We'll give you one final look at those remaining schedules for both of these teams. Going to be tough for Penn State going forward, but as you heard Smoke Dixon say, he thinks the Buckeyes are the best team in the nation. We will see as the rest of this schedule pans out.